sorry, Phoebe. Everyone was high-fiving me and catching up.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2026 LTS Commencement Ceremony. My name is Miles, and Phoebe, Owen, and I will be the MCs for today's program. A friend of mine once said he hated drawn-out goodbyes. As a senior, I've invariably been faced with such long-form statements of farewell. Throughout this year, we as a class have been faced with lasts. Our last days of high school, our last classes, last tests, and last moments together. Although every moment we spend is precious, the finality of graduation reminds us and our families of feelings of sentimentality. And by no means is this undeserved. Our shift from known to unknown is a major change. We abandon school life in the form of sudden and drastic change, moving to faraway colleges or shifting to an arduous workload in the workforce. No matter our path, we move towards independence alone, yet guided constantly by our loved ones. This is the last time we will all be gathered here together, but the first time we will be seen as adults and contributing members of society. No matter where we go from here, whether it be college or into the workforce, we are reminded of our roots to this special place in the Green Mountains of Dorset, Vermont. We step into the future with our chins up, facing forward. On one last day, we gather together, reminisce on our past times, and look to the future. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming, recognizing, and congratulating the 50th class, our class, the best class ever, the class of 2026. I would now like to invite Colin, our head of school, to the stage to share some remarks.
Thank you, Miles. Good afternoon. This beautiful day in Dorset, and welcome to the 50th commencement exercises of Long Trail School. Miles already stole the thunder. The best class ever. And we got to give a round of applause for the best class ever, again. And I want to thank, by thanking my colleagues, I want to begin, by thanking my colleagues on our faculty and staff. And at the risk of saying perhaps the most obvious statement ever, teaching is hard work. Long Trail School is fortunate to have talented teachers who are experts in their craft and experts in helping students reach their full potential. They work tirelessly, rarely see the fruits of their labor, but today we do thank you and celebrate you in addition to this wonderful class. So I'd ask all my colleagues to please stand and we can recognize them with a round of applause. Bear with me 1 second while I get myself organized here. Okay. I also want to thank our dedicated board of trustees, many of whom are here in attendance, some who are watching, thanks to our friends at GNAT, for their steady leadership that's behind the scenes, but selfless and crucial to the success of the school Thank you, thank you, thank you for your selfless service. And again, thanks to our friends at GNAT, and a particular thank you, I have to say hi to my mom. She required that, who's watching. Thanks to GNAT, and to anyone who can't be here in person. We're really glad that you're able to join us for this wonderful day. I also want to recognize Reen Wilson, our co-founder, and as I say often and said at our wonderful 50th bash, none of us would be here today if it weren't for Reen Wilson. Reen, thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the parents, the friends, family members of the class of 2026, thank you for trusting us with your children, for raising such wonderful human beings. And now to the Long Trail School class of 2026. Kids these days think their entire identity is wrapped up in an online persona. They'd rather build a brand than become an authentic person. CNN. 2025. Many young people are so pampered nowadays that they've forgotten there's such a thing as walking. The Falkirk Herald, 1951. It's the first generation in American history to live so well and complain so bitterly about it. The Washington Post, 1933. Youth were never more saucy. Yea, never more savagely saucy. The ancient are scorned. Thomas Barnes in a sermon in the year 1624. Our society is degenerate. People no longer hold to the old values. The Cairo Museum in Egypt, a stone tablet from the year 4000 BC. I think you see where I'm going with this. For millennia, the older generation has looked at the younger generation, wrung its hands, and lamented, what is wrong with kids these days? But as I stand here with 26 graduates of the class of 2026, I don't feel any of that despair. I feel incredible hope, excitement, and optimism. Because the truth is, these kids are doing just fine. Now, some might argue that things genuinely are different today, that the world is changing faster than ever before. It's easy to feel that way. We rightfully worry that technological advances will master us instead of us mastering them, or that tools meant to connect us will instead isolate us. We should care about those things. But rapid change is also an ancient story. My wife's grandmother, Grandma Kay, she was born in 1911, and when her family got their first telephone, her number was 12. That was her entire phone number. She was literally number 12. Imagine the sheer velocity and the speed of change when Grandma Kay, at 102 years old, was FaceTiming with her great-grandchildren. When I was your age, in the 1990s, as my children tease me, was the 1900s, but in the 1990s, my generation thought we were the ultimate, right? We were the tech revolutionaries. We witnessed the fall of the Berlin Wall, cable TV, 24-hour news. Remember the white Bronco? The dawn of the internet. And today, we look back at the 90s as quaint, quiet, cute ancient history. Every generation is conceited enough to believe it's the very first one to live in revolutionary times. Remember that 6,000-year-old stone tablet in the Cairo Museum? An ancient Egyptian carving the words, "Our society is degenerate. People no longer hold on to the old values." The tools change, but human nature does not. The real anxiety of the older generation doesn't come from a lack of faith in you all. It comes from our fear about the world that you are going to enter. How have we prepared and left things for you? And I do worry. Our culture can value popularity over principle. Too many folks look at polls, check social media algorithms, or stick a finger up in the air to see which way the wind is blowing before deciding what they believe. And that approach may work if you're trying to sell a product, but it's corrosive to the human soul. Your values must guide your actions, not the other way around. And to be clear, I'm not suggesting that everything will automatically be fine, that we should simply go about our lives ignorant of changes and events. Rather, quite the opposite. To keep these beautiful communities, these beautiful lives, you must be highly engaged, unwavering in your character, and steadfastly working for a better future. I just know you're ready and that the world needs you. History doesn't remember folks who chased a comfortable consensus. World War II provides a potent example. If we remember the British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain, he was celebrated each time that he acquiesced to the expanding German army. While Winston Churchill, who warned against appeasement, he was despised. He was even isolated in his own party for standing firm. We know how that story ended. We know how history judges those men. It's principle, not popularity, that alters human history. And this is why I have so much faith in the kids these days, in the class of 2026. As graduates of Long Trail, you've been equipped with knowledge, with habits, most importantly, with the character and values. And you know to live those values. I've seen it. Your teachers have seen it. Your parents have seen it. And now the world will see it too. With kindness, you've shown the strength and conviction to be kind, even if the world is not. You live with integrity. You do what's right, especially when no one's watching. You're responsible. You're accountable for your choices, your impact, and your community. You're open, both in mind and in spirit. You lead with curiosity. And you're good stewards. You leave things better than you found them. And as you move on from Long Trail School today, we are certainly a better place because of you. Thank you. As you move on, not quite, you will encounter the cynics. Our world is crowded with them. People who sit safely on the sidelines, waiting for you to trip, eager to point out how the strong stumble or where you should have done better. When you meet them, do not cater to them. Do not let their noise dictate your purpose. I've found that these people are often sitting in the stands, throwing tomatoes from the cheap seats without ever setting foot in the arena. I find comfort, and hope you will find comfort, in the timeless words of Theodore Roosevelt, that it's not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the person who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming. Roosevelt understood a fundamental truth, that you cannot lead a meaningful life from the sidelines or be paralyzed by the fear of failure. To be the change, you need to be in the arena. And you're so much more prepared than most young people. Frankly, than most adults for that matter. You've spent hours mastering difficult subjects. You've worked tirelessly on the stage and in the field. You give to your community without expecting anything in return. You've refused to simply exist. You want to do something. You want to live a worthy life. So don't fear those critical of kids these days. Don't fear a rapidly changing world. Go forward with confidence, stand up for what you believe in, and live your values. That's the path to a worthy life. So congratulations to the Long Trail School class of 2026. The arena is now yours, and I cannot wait to see what you will do. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. As is tradition at Long Trail School, all members of the graduating class are invited to participate in the commencement ceremony by sharing some thoughts, a musical number, a dance, whatever represents their time here at LTS. Some members of the class of 2026 would like to share their thoughts on and appreciation for the experiences they had here at Long Trail School. CJ will start us off, and each graduate will introduce themselves.
Hi there, my name is CJ. When I first toured Long Trail halfway through my junior year, the fact that it was a college prep school was one of the reasons why I felt like it would be a good fit for me. After all, I had begun researching colleges in 6th grade, and I had devoted my entire high school career up until that point to getting into elite schools. I heard that nearly every student in each graduating class matriculated to college afterwards, and I thought, I'll fit right in. I came here as a transfer. Never figuring out exactly which classes I was going to stick with, I dove headfirst into pushing myself as hard as I could through the second semester of my junior year. I took the SAT and ACT, praying I'd score well. I applied to various college exploration programs, hoping that a school like Amherst or Dartmouth would think I was good enough for them to give me a preview into what life is like on their campuses. I plotted my essays, organized my high school roadmap, compiled anything I could to add to my college resume. My whole near future revolved around college. And to an extent, so did my self-worth. I was almost always just below where I wanted to be, and it didn't matter how much I kept pushing and pushing. I came up short. I entered my senior year burnt out and feeling lost. Though before it was all I'd ever wanted, my gut was yelling, I don't want to go to college right now. The thought of committing to a school this year sounded like a prison, and I didn't want to spend the next 4 to 7 years of my life viewing my education as simply a means to an end. If I were to go to college and perhaps earn a degree beyond, I wanted it to be because I really desired to be there and had the passion to enjoy my studies. Right now was not the time to do that. After creating a plan and justifying it to everyone who asked, I feel confident that I'm making the right choice. I have a job lined up at Stratton through the fall, and if all goes right, I'll be moving to Quebec and working at Tremblant this winter. I'll be staying with a company that offers me strong pay and benefits based upon my credentials for the foreseeable future. If I stay in Canada for at least a year, I'll be eligible for in-province tuition at any Quebec university, which I cannot stress how much more affordable of a price it is than that of a US school. I know where I'm going with my life, and I know that I'll be happy to return to school within a few years once the time is right. I've carved a path that makes me feel good about my future, and I encourage others to do the same, not just students. It may not seem obvious at first glance, but I believe that attending Long Trail is part of the reason why I made this choice. This school is where students who are different go to high school, the students who have independent minds and self-guided maturity. This community is a place where traits of the self are fostered, where young people go to discover who they are, not what everyone else wants them to be. The first thing lifted under our school's beliefs is that learning how to think is more important than being told what to think. I think it's okay to be brave and take a path that isn't well known. I think it's self-care to take on less work if it's hurting you. I think Long Trail is still serving me its mission of cultivating a lifelong learner within me, even if I don't have college as my first priority, and that education is so much more than diplomas, degrees, or formal programs. I think a person will learn well into their old age if they keep their minds open, their ears listening, and their direction guided towards new experiences, information, and opportunities. I think this community has helped me make me into a person that I want to be, that I'm finally proud of, and that I can love more deeply than I ever could before. Thanks to the people around me, I feel safe, welcomed, and supported. I've made connections with both students and staff here that I'll never forget and will always appreciate. While most of my classmates up here with me will go straight to college after this, I won't. But it doesn't matter, for I belong here just as much as anyone else. I'm proud to be standing on the stage as an LTS graduate. I'll forever be a part of this community, and I hope that everyone else in my class feels the same way. Maybe it's ironic that I discovered college wasn't as important to me as I thought it was, at a school with a strong college prep culture. But Long Trail is also a school where students go if they want to be different. I chose Long Trail because I wanted to take an alternative path, and now I'm continuing to do so. I want to thank my junior year self for deciding to change my life forever by coming here, and for being open and brave enough to explore new options. I ultimately came here because I wanted to find my place, and I can say with confidence that I ended up fitting right in. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2026.
Good afternoon. My name is Maddie, for those who don't know, and for those who do, it is. A few months ago, I gave a speech to the school about failing. Despite that, I'm here now, which is great. I wanted to tell people that it's okay to fail, and that it's okay for things to not go perfectly. The only issue with this is that I said it before I had applied to, gotten into college, graduated, probably before I even turned in my homework that morning. So now that I've done all of those things, mostly, I wanted to say, I think with a little more authority, that yes, it is okay to fail, and it is okay. It's about adapting. It's okay for the little things to go wrong. And I want to thank everyone who helped me realize this. It was not an easy realization to make, so thank you guys. What I've taken away is that the true failure that we are so afraid of, and that we try to avoid so much, only comes when we relinquish our desire to learn. So what I've learned, and what I want to say, is that you can never ever fail, as long as you never ever give up. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jeremiah. When I was younger, everything was temporary. I was always moving from house to house in different schools. I've been at Long Trail for the last 5 years of my life. That's longer than I've known some of my closest friends. I may not have always liked being here, but Long Trail is the first place that has ever felt permanent to me, and now it's coming to an end. I want to give a few shout-outs to some people that helped make my time here a good experience. Colleen has known me since my first year here. She's always helped me with anything and let me complain to her. Dave has known me for 3 years and has helped me with anything I've asked. And Kim has had me since I was a freshman. And my mom and dad, the reason that I'm here. The last 5 years have had an impact and changed me to someone that I hope people can be proud of.
Hey guys, Andres here. This will most likely be one of the shortest speeches today. That was before I actually revised it, so it might be a little longer than I was thinking. I'd like to think of it as aptly fitting the saying short and sweet. I'd like to start off by thanking everyone at Long Trail School. You've all helped me adjust to living in Vermont, attending a new school, and all of you have had a lasting impact on me. Thank you to my friends for turning each monotonous day into an exciting event, and thank you to my family for always supporting me, no matter what. Additionally, I'd like to give a special thanks to our lunch staff, Sarah and Lori. In my old school, thank you, at my old school, the lunch was really bad. So it really has had a massive impact on my personal quality of life at school by having good cooks, so thank you guys. Typically, when people are thinking of someone to quote for a speech, they turn towards iconic figures of history, such as Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and David Blankenbaker. However, in my infinite arrogance, I obviously decided to quote myself. So today, I'd like to leave everyone with the saying that has helped me throughout my entire high school career, and that is, it's a minor setback for a major comeback. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is James Dorr, and I will never forget the first time that I saw the Long Trail campus. Sitting in the back seat of my mom's car as an 8th grader, she asked me if I wanted to take a drive to check out this small school tucked away in the town of Dorset. Initially, my response was absolutely not. 14-year-old James did not know much about Long Trail, beyond the fact that I would have to leave my house at 6:30 in the morning to get to school on time. But what did he know? He knew he was scared to start fresh. He didn't want to leave all of his friends. After all, why would he take such a bold risk, such a bold action? I remember pulling up Paul's Way on this rainy afternoon and feeling welcomed. The school looked like a resort. So I decided to shadow, and here I felt like I belonged. Not because of some shared interest between everyone I met, but I was instead drawn to how everyone just genuinely respected and cared for those around them. When I officially joined this community in 2022, I decided to adopt this why not mentality. And this has been at the core of how I've navigated my 4 years here at Long Trail. If I was able to sign up for something new, odds are that I tried it. Often, it worked out, while other times it pushed me way outside of my comfort zone. But every experience helped shape who I've become here. What made all of this possible was the support around me. My family taught me the value of continued perseverance, while consistently and selflessly making sacrifices so that I can make my dreams a reality. Additionally, this community here at Long Trail was something I've just never imagined, pushing me to both take risks and having my back through triumphs and setbacks. I urge my peers to remember our moments here and to never forget where we came from, as we move on to new chapters across America and the world beyond. Our Long Trail roots will always run strong. Thank you, LTS.
Hello, everyone. My name is Miles. It's incredibly shocking to go from being in school, especially a school that I've been in for so long, and making such a sudden and drastic shift towards just new horizons. I, in the fall, will be going to college, and that will be a big change for me. So before I make that big change, I would like to reflect on some of my favorite moments that I've had here at Long Trail. I think among my favorite moments, one of them was when I went rock climbing, certainly up in New Hampshire with the rock climbing team. It was a rainy afternoon, and the smell of dirt and mud and trees was all around in the beautiful rocks of Rumney, New Hampshire. It was an incredible experience, and I remember sitting and talking with my friends while eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. For me, rock climbing has always been a part of my time at Long Trail. Starting here since 8th grade, and it truly shaped how I've been and how I see myself as a person. My second favorite experience here at Long Trail was just being in the full diploma program. It was an incredible experience to be surrounded by such incredible people day in and day out. Even on the days where I felt as if I didn't have the motivation per se to learn, my peers certainly motivated me, and it was an incredible experience to work and learn alongside them for this long. Thank you. My last fun experience that I had that I would like to share would be going out west. Certainly, it's not the most common thing to take part in as a school to go out west, but I had the incredible opportunity to be able to venture out west last summer. It was very fun, and just seeing all these beautiful outdoor, incredible places with my friends was truly, truly unforgettable. Although I will be going to college, this is a very, very touching moment. Just being here one last time with all of these people who I've known and have cherished for such a long time. So thank you everyone, and thank you Long Trail.
All right. Hello. Okay, right, here we go. The precipice. It is more than likely that we could find countless precipices every day, yet we rarely choose to acknowledge them. It is easier, safer to ignore the possibility of a strong stride across a threshold. Simpler to redefine the next room as a seamless elongation of the same hallway we walk. These thresholds through which we pass accumulate behind us all the same, marking distance traveled and the distance to go. We walk knowing that someday there will be a precipice we cannot camouflage, one that comes someday. But that someday is someday, and someday is never a real day. Or so we tell ourselves. Here I stand with my peers before this precipice, the one we cannot ignore. We look out from this ledge, a vista from which we are blinded, yet everything can be seen. The intangible, now tangible. The someday, the precipice. It is a tremendous contradiction to human nature to depart from a place of safety and comfort into uncertainty. To steal from Raymond Chandler's array of book titles, The Long Goodbye certainly seems a fitting one for this past year. It is incredibly difficult to engage with something that you know you are going to lose. The instinctual defensive counter is to detach, to dampen the inevitable goodbye, the inevitable someday via withdrawal. It is easier to simply not love, to avoid attaching to something you will have to walk away from. Senior year has been no different. It is difficult to stay emotionally engrossed in something you know you have to walk away from, in something you know you won't see the continuation of, as you have in years past. Every year of high school has been full of firsts, and it's always the repetitive things that end up being first. The first day of 9th grade, the first day of 10th grade, the first day of 11th grade. And then the funny thing happens. First day of senior year. It also becomes the last first day of Long Trail. Even if you choose to stay engrossed and invested, each routine event becomes the last first, a small goodbye. Every day of this year has been one. And that's not because I've been focused on the future. The contrary is in fact true. I chose to stay present, to stay attached this year. I chose to love Long Trail. And for that, I've had to say goodbye many times so far. I've parted with things, people, and places whose presence I didn't realize I was so appreciative of, even if that appreciation was no more than an observation of consistency. It has been said that one doesn't realize what's important to them until it's too late. I disagree. We know what is important to us. We know that, like all things in life, they will go away eventually. While it may be impossible to fully comprehend the meaning of value of something until it is truly gone, that does not mean you have realized too late. That meaning and value is the gift, the memory. The memory is the continuation of something we no longer have. That's not too late. That's when it's needed most. When the small goodbyes accumulate into one long one. When you cross a precipice. There is a memory of mine that serves as my reoccurring visual for such instances. One that served as both a first and a last. My last day of 8th grade at Long Trail. All the people I knew and fraternized with were in my grade. We were all together, and we were walking to our friend's house with a large group of friends and friends of friends whose company I always enjoyed. And this was a walk we had all made together many times before. On lazy Fridays where the sun encouraged swimming and the cool breeze called for blankets, we could cross fields that weren't ours, talking about futures that would someday become ours in the few hours of the week where we belonged to ourselves and no one else. On this particular hot day, this time devoid of any cool breeze, we started to walk down the road with our empty backpacks and full water bottles. And there must have been a good 25 of us walking down Kirby Hollow, our backs to the school. And as we were walking, I paused and turned around. And I remembered the empty field and the quiet building, already anxiously awaiting its occupant's return for the next year. And then I turned back around and saw the line of friends continuing down the road. And my eyes went glassy. And I realized that this was the last time that this would ever happen. This was the last time I would walk on this road with these people. And the first time I would be without them. I was the only one staying at Long Trail for high school in that group. And it was then I realized how much it all meant. And those people, that time. Goodbyes make us wish for just one more hello. And that was the first small goodbye, the beginning of high school. This is the last one. The Long Goodbye is a book by Raymond Chandler that I am quite fond of. I will admit its title is also fitting for the most recent year of our lives. A year that has been made up of many small goodbyes. And now there's only one left. Only one acknowledgement away from crossing this precipice. Nobody likes saying goodbye. That's why the Germans say Auf Wiedersehen, until we meet again. Why the French say au revoir, until the re-seeing. Chandler was a little more blunt. He wrote this. The French have a phrase for it. The bastards have a phrase for everything and they are always right. To say goodbye is to die a little. Goodbye, Long Trail. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, Long Trail, or well, good afternoon, as I'd say. This wasn't morning meeting. My name is Sydney, and today I'd like to talk about pi. Not the food, the number. I'm sorry, it's math. 3.14. Yada, yada, yada. Everyone knows that. However, pi is much more than 3.14, even 3.14159. Pi goes on forever, is considered an irrational number because it never ends and can never be accurately expressed by a fraction. The closest to a fraction we can get is 22 divided by 7 or 355 divided by 113. Now, even if you decide to sit down and try to write it out and really go fast, not eat, nor drink, or sleep, or go to the bathroom, well, sadly to say, you'd probably die that way because, you couldn't eat and sleep, and I think that'd be a stupid idea. Anyway, the furthest digit of pi we know is a really big number I can't read right now. However big you think it is, it's child's play to infinity, but it's still very big. Now here's the story. There's a mathematician who got pi wrong somehow. And it's the time when pi went to court, which is called the Indiana Pi Bill. It was a bright, sunny day in 1984 in Indiana, and the amateur mathematician Edward J. Goodwin believed that he had found the solution to squaring the circle. It was such a revolution to him that he decided to write up his own bill and make his own proof a law. I kid you not. Goodwin then went to his local courthouse to propose his new discovery. And in exchange for that new bill, he would not charge the state of Indiana royalties for using his theorem. Not only was this a major red flag, Goodwin also proposed that pi, the number we all know and love, was actually 3.2. Blasphemous. Sadly, the Indiana House of Representatives unanimously voted on Goodwin's behalf. It almost seems as if pi would really become 3.2, at least in Indiana. But by pure coincidence, the math professor from Purdue University, Clarence A. Waldo, appeared at the Louisiana courts the same day of the debate. Originally, he was there to petition for the school's budget offer, but when he heard the argument over pi, he knew he had to intervene. Waldo ended up educating the senators about pi, and that it was in fact 3.14 and not 3.2. This mathematical revelation provided the senators knowledge to vote down the bill. Thank God. Now, why is this important? Because one, this shows us that math is everywhere in our life, in every facet. And now if you're going to go say, oh, what are we going to use this for? This is a good reason why, because they could have almost passed pi as 3.2. Second, I believe that stories make the mundane fascinating. Made me learn more about pi than I already knew from math class. And three, this is the importance. It emphasizes how important education is in our school systems. And at Long Trail, the education I have received from all my teachers and the IB program has been a wonderful experience. So I'd say, take the challenge. You never know what's going to happen. Thank you.
Hello, Dempsey here. Alright, I like to ask Google why they have to put a picture with everything. I'd have learned a lot if they hadn't. But every time I had a question about spiders, I'd have to ignore it. Otherwise, I'd be face to face with my worst fear. The next thing you know, there'd be a dead Dempsey lying on the table, shocked from fright. But the question that keeps returning to me whenever such a thing happens is, what makes me so fearful, and why? And I think this is a question that we've all explored. Fear, by definition, is a primal protective emotion triggered by the perception of a real or imagined threat. And threats, believe it or not, aren't just spiders. They can come in so many shapes and sizes. The most prevalent I've learned, pause for dramatic effect, is homework. Assignments are perpetual. And when I'm faced with a difficult one, my body tells me to procrastinate. This defense mechanism is the worst, but it's meant to protect you. Why? Because sometimes avoiding something that is challenging can feel safer than taking it on. This is one of the most important things I've learned to be aware of. Not just for school. From crazy activities like riding the world's most brutal roller coaster to buying a katana during your senior outing. Probably not some of the smartest things. Taking on these challenges, despite fearing some of the consequences, have given me something permanent, an experience. I won't deny it can be good to be precautious, but fearing to put one foot in front of the other can keep you from doing anything at all. And sometimes there is a consequence, and sometimes you learn because of it. Don't tell my parents, but in each of these steps, I'm probably going to do something stupid. But if I learned anything, you shouldn't live life afraid of what it'll throw at you. But instead, find confidence in your ability to take it on. Thank you very much.
At this time, we will hear a selection by the IB Music students under the direction of Jeffrey G.
Thank you to the IB Music students for your wonderful performance. Before we return to our senior reflections, we have a few special awards to present to some members of the LTS community. The first award is the Debbie Brown Award. I would like to invite Lucy Craig to the podium to present this award. Lucy is a member of the LTS class of 2025 and was the 2025 recipient of this award.
Okay, congratulations, graduates. Debbie Brown is remembered for her leadership, contagious enthusiasm, and perhaps most of all, her selfless commitment to the school community. This year's recipient of the Debbie Brown Award is described by her peers as kind, hardworking, and a tireless volunteer who is passionate about promoting the Long Trail community. A quiet leader, she inspires others with her school spirit, welcoming nature, and positivity. She is a visible presence on campus as the leader of student ambassadors, a member of NHS and UNICEF, and the captain of our girls' varsity basketball team. Her favorite teacher describes her as the LTS cheerleader, a fitting title given that she played a cheerleader in this year's Manchester Tractor Parade. Alyssa, we are so grateful for your contribution to the LTS community and proud to name you the 2026 Debbie Brown Award winner.
Congratulations, Alyssa. The next award is the West Forbes Award. I will present this award on behalf of the 2025 recipient, Morgan Cable, a 2025 LTS graduate. The West Forbes Spirit Award is given in recognition of Barb West and Jeannie Forbes for their dedication, unwavering support, and long-standing service to Long Trail School. The recipient of this award is recognized throughout the LTS community as a welcoming, encouraging, hardworking, and genuinely kind person. He is a quiet yet strong leader in the classroom and in athletics. Fellow students and faculty members speak highly of his character, his openness, and the respect he has for himself and others. This person has made a lasting impact on the LTS community. This year's award goes to Dempsey St. Onge. I will present the Dave and Reen Wilson Award on behalf of Cosby Lux, the 2025 recipient of this award and a 2025 graduate of Long Trail School. We are gathered here tonight due to the vision, hard work, and dedication of Dave and Reen Wilson, the founders of Long Trail School. It is fitting, therefore, that we recognize similar passion and dedication from a member of our graduating class. The Dave and Reen Wilson Award is given to a member of the senior class who has created something of lasting significance within the school or community and has exhibited a passionate dedication by being involved in many aspects of the school. The recipient of the award has done all this and more. As an IB Diploma Program student, a leader in NHS and ambassadors, and a valued member of our music and drama programs, this student is the definition of well-rounded and has taken advantage of all the opportunities offered at Long Trail. In addition, he is a valued classmate, ambitious student, and a genuine and kind community member. This year's award goes to James Dorr. I would like to ask Renee Lewin to come up to the stage to present the Dorothy Purse Award. Renee is one of our middle school English teachers and was the 2025 recipient of this award.
Hello. The Dorothy Purse Faculty Award, given is given to the Long Trail faculty member who best exhibits former Dean of Faculty Dorothy Purse's commitment to intellectual curiosity and education by offering creative and inspirational teaching. The recipient reflects Dorothy's lifelong dedication to educating students and implementing best practices in teaching. The recipient is awarded a stipend to be used toward professional development by April of the upcoming academic year. The Dorothy Purse Faculty Award is decided by a vote of Long Trail faculty. It is such an honor to present this award to a teacher who is truly one of the kindest human beings I have the privilege to know. This person is so effective in so many different environments that one of their coworkers said that they're like a Swiss Army knife. They are incredibly versatile in their ability to connect with students, whether they are working one-on-one or getting a group excited about an activity. This person is positive, unflappable, and rolls with the punches in such an admirable way. They are always professional, encouraging, and supporting their students to succeed in the classroom and on the track. When I asked the students who went on the NPX trip with her this year, their faces literally lit up when they talked about her. They shared how much they loved her, how kind, how patient, and how supportive she was. She is consistent at the highest possible level, always kind, always encouraging, and always open. Collaborating with her is truly a positive experience because she truly understands and sees her students and always meets everyone where they are at. She embodies our core values of integrity, stewardship, kindness, openness, and responsibility. It is such an honor to present the Dorothy Purse Faculty Award to Stacy Smars. Thank you for being you, Stacy. You are a gift to our community.
Congratulations, Stacy. Our last special award, Citizen of the Year, will be presented by Colin.
Each year, Long Trail School selects a Citizen of the Year from anywhere in the community, someone who demonstrates their commitment to the school's core values through their actions and words. A good citizen exhibits loyalty, trust, compassion, and hope. They find ways to engage others in meaningful conversation, to demonstrate their ability to truly listen, and to collaboratively engage the community. The award recipient is chosen by the Long Trail leadership team. This year's Citizen of the Year defines servant leadership. A consistent presence at Long Trail School, they seek ways to positively impact all areas of the community. They're quick to welcome new families to LTS, acting as a steward for both students and parents alike. They are seemingly everywhere, one moment cheering on cross-country runners, and then transporting to a school event moments later, even sneaking into the faculty room to ensure that our teachers are well nourished with treats and goodies. Smart, hardworking, and selfless, this year's recipient is always looking for ways to help. She sees a problem and brings a solution, and always with optimism and sense of humor. As we celebrated 50 years of Long Trail School, her engagement truly went above and beyond, including tremendous leadership of the 50th anniversary bash. A teacher had this to share. Her involvement is representative of how the involvement of community members is the key to its strength and growth. The breadth of her impact is what's most impressive, touching all members of our community, directly or indirectly, finding ways to tangibly add to every person's experience. And another colleague shared, perfectly summarizing, quote, "She shows us how much one dedicated parent can elevate our entire school community. It's a tremendous honor to present the 2026 Citizen of the Year to Erin Robison."
Congratulations, Erin. We will now continue with our senior reflections. Brendan will start us off.
Hello, all. My name is Brendan. I've only been here for 3 years, but in that time, I've learned so much and met so many amazing people. This place has helped me learn life skills and form healthy habits, and I'm forever grateful. Next in my journey, I'm going to Plymouth State to pursue digital arts and robotics. I want to give a special thanks to my parents, my mentors, and my friends for supporting me along this journey, and an extra special thanks to John Poling. He's a pretty cool guy. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nora. When you are in the middle of a story, it isn't a story at all, but only confusion. It's a rush of rehearsals, French quizzes, alarm clocks, and graphing display calculators. High school is a story that feels stressful and never-ending, until it ends, and you realize it taught you all of the life lessons you need to embark on your next chapter. I loved high school. I loved existing in a community of people whom I trust and care about so deeply. I love Hey All You Long Trail fans before every show, and eating lunch in Tripp's office, and all the advice he's ever given me. I love those first few warm days of spring when every teacher lets you bask in the sun. I love the magical friendship that I found and will carry with me always. I love singing Bon Anniversaire in Francois' class. I love Josh and David's morning meeting announcements and the Environmental Club Summit. I love all of my peers who care so deeply about everything they do. I'm devastated to leave all of these things I adore, yet I know the show must go on, and I have many stories to tell, one of which being the story of Long Trail and all it has taught me. So thank you to everyone in this caring community who has watched me grow up, and a special thank you to my ever-supportive family for the wonderful gifts they have given me. I am the girl I am today because of them. And to my mother, who is my biggest role model and exactly who I want to be when I grow up. You have shown me the value of resilience and strength and have forever filled my life with laughter and joy. As scary as change is, I am so excited to see where the future takes me, and I hope I can carry with me the love I received in high school on my next adventure. I have grown immensely in the last 4 years, and I feel beyond ready to take on the world. So, as Troy Bolton once said, once a wildcat, always a wildcat.
Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa, and thank you all for being here to celebrate my fellow graduates and me. Over the years, this school has given me more than just an education. The close-knit environment and an individually focused learning allowed me to understand what I value and what I want for my future. Through the opportunities I've had here as a student here, I've been able to grow not only academically but also personally, gaining the confidence to envision the college path and life ahead of me. With the guidance of the Long Trail community and the important people in my life, I've learned that the most meaningful lessons from high school aren't taught in a syllabus. I want to start by thanking my parents. Beyond raising me, they have always been and will always be my #1 supporters. Their constant engagement in both my life and interests has carried me through every challenge and celebrated every success alongside me. I also want to thank my family as a whole for creating a reliable environment filled with love and connection. Although I didn't grow up with a biological sister, I was given something even more special. Kaylin has been my best friend for as long as I can remember. She may not be my sister by blood, but I truly believe no one has ever embodied the meaning of sister more than she has in my life. While my time at Long Trail has been filled with many positive experiences, it hasn't been without its challenges. Through all 6 years, Kylene has been a constant source of guidance and encouragement. She has truly been my school mom, and I will always be appreciative of her. Lastly, I want to thank my basketball community. Over the past 4 years of varsity basketball, it has given me a sense of belonging as some of my teammates and team managers, of course, have become my closest friends and strongest supporters. And to Lindsay, thank you for being more than just a coach. You helped me rediscover my love for the sport and pushed me to become the best version of myself on and off the court. As I move forward to the next chapter of my life, I will continue to value and demonstrate the lessons you all in the Long Trail community have shown me. Behind all of my successes are the people who made sure I got here, so thank you again to everyone who has been a part of this journey. I am incredibly grateful and excited for the future.
Good afternoon, I'm Eliza. As I'm writing this, I can preliminarily say that after 2 years at Long Trail, marked by change in almost every significant direction, the one thing that has remained constant since August of 2024 is my gratitude for this school. Gratitude for a place that fosters stability, community, and music after years of moving through a much larger and seemingly harsher world. A place that allowed thinking to feel alive again. A place that taught us not only how to answer questions, but how to sit thoughtfully within them. And maybe most importantly, a place that reminded many of us of how much we still do not know. One moment that has stayed with me happened this year in HL English when our new teacher, Jason, suggested that instead of piggybacking off of each other's ideas in discussion, we should dance with them. That phrasing stayed with me because it captured something essential about what learning here has felt like. Not linear, not performative, but something collaborative and alive. We were not simply building arguments, we were learning how to move alongside perspectives slightly outside of our own, letting them challenge us, reshape us, and sometimes soften us. For a long time, my experiences in school taught me to think of intelligence as something measured by speed, certainty, and conclusions. The things that came more naturally to me, like reflection, creativity, and emotion, felt harder to justify in spaces that valued confidence above uncertainty. So, like many people do, especially when they are young, I retreated inward, assuming the way I experienced the world was mine alone. But over time, I realized how many of us were doing the exact same thing, quietly building entire internal worlds without realizing how deeply those worlds overlapped. And at the time, I think it's important to acknowledge something else. Even in a place as thoughtful and open as Long Trail, we exist inside of a sort of bubble. Wow, a beautiful one, honestly. One built on kindness, curiosity, and genuine care for one another, but still a bubble nonetheless. It can be easy, especially in environments where we feel understood, to mistake familiarity for universality. To believe that because we have learned to discuss ideas collaboratively, we fully understand perspectives beyond our own. But the world is infinitely larger, stranger, and more complicated than any classroom discussion can contain. In The Ascent of Man, Jacob Bronowski warns about the danger of certainty, about what happens when people begin to believe they stand above doubt, above complexity, and above one another. History shows how quickly certainty hardens into division, and division into destruction. What Bronowski understood is that knowledge was never meant to make us feel superior. It was meant to make us more aware of how much remains unknown, aware of one another, aware of how careful we must be with each other. Because the moment we believe we have fully figured out the world, we stop listening to it. I think that may be one of the greatest things the Long Trail has given us, not the illusion of completion, but the willingness to keep discovering, to remain open, to keep questioning ourselves, to listen deeply enough to be changed by people and experiences beyond what is familiar to us. So as the incredibly bright people on the stage and I leave this beautiful little pocket of rural Vermont for a world that may feel far less gentle and far less certain, I hope we carry both things with us at once, gratitude for the safety and care we found here, and humility about how much more there is beyond it. Thank you to the teachers who taught me how to shape extensive, sometimes unproductive thought into language, to the teachers who showed me that I could do math, and that curiosity, openness, and hard work matter profoundly when they're directed with care. To Amelia for your honesty, your gentleness, and your incredibly significant role in saving my senior year. To Sage for your powerful presence, your spunk, your talent, radiance, and wonderful mind. To Eloise for your unparalleled humor, your warmth, your reassurance, and your dedication as my passenger princess. And to Cleo, my soul tie, my sister, and one of the hardest goodbyes I will ever experience, thank you for understanding me in ways that have changed my world. To my sibling Willow, thank you for growing beside me from reading upside-down picture books together to singing while I play piano now, and for carrying me through STEM classes for years with remarkable patience. To my father, thank you for your grace, your incredibly hard work, and the way you have always understood me at my core, for raising me to be grateful for what I have while still being aware of what others don't. And to my mother, my best friend, thank you for being you. Thank you for teaching me how to harmonize with you when we sing and with the world when it presents me with unexpected melodies. For still cradling me through moments of crisis, and for somehow always finding ways to laugh with me through all of it. As we leave this place, I hope we continue moving through the world with curiosity, humility, and openness. I hope we keep dancing with ideas instead of trying to conquer them, and I hope we keep harmonizing instead of speaking over one another. And most of all, I hope we never lose the willingness to keep discovering. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Maddie. This isn't a fairy tale, though it starts like one. My time at Long Trail School is hallmarked by fairy tale-like experiences. Van rides across Utah, the magic of airband night, proms, the first day in March when it's 65 degrees and sunny, and many bus trips home from St. Albans. There were some hiccups along the way, a particularly poorly timed sprained ankle, more than a few tears shed over the SAT, and the time I drove to the fence in the student parking lot. That's the thing about fairy tales, they're never perfect. There will always be obstacles and moments best left in the past. But nostalgia has a way of softening the edges and casting everything in a much kinder light. So overall, yes, I was tremendously lucky to have the high school experience that I did. That environment was not created by just me, but rather by a school where your history teacher will come in on a Sunday to make up a review session, and where your friends will never fail to make your day. It took me a long time to accept that people fade in and out of each other's lives, that they come in waves. I can't make it sound any kinder than it is, but the truth is this. Everyone who touches your life leaves their mark, and we are all a composite of the people we've known, past and present. Once I realized that, it became impossible to talk about my experience without talking about the individuals who shaped it. While my whole community has gotten me to this point in my life, I'd be remiss not to mention a few important people. Firstly, my wonderful girls who made my whole world brighter. Thank you for 5 years, and here's to a lifetime more. To every one of my excellent teachers who have shaped me into who I am today, but above all, thank you to Tripp for never wavering in your support of and belief in all of us. It truly means the world. Finally, I thank you to my family, my siblings, my grandmother, and my parents. There are far too many things to list, so in short, thank you for all that I have and all that I am. I couldn't have done any of it without you. 27 classes, 6 IAs, 52 performances, and 4 short years later, it is incredibly hard to say goodbye to this chapter in this place. But as I sit in this coffee shop in DC writing this speech, the place where I will spend the next 4 years of my life, I know that it is time and that it is right. As Winnie the Pooh said best, how lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. So no, this is not a tragedy, nor does it end like one.
Hi, I'm Theo. They say that high school is a fundamental part of your childhood, of growing up. It's your last time to be a kid, but they don't tell you about the work you will put in and the hours you will spend on homework, the failed tests, and the persistent effort it takes. But honestly, I think the struggle is just as valuable as the time spent with friends and the memories you make. Anyone who knows me well can tell you that I keep a paper planner. It tracks my life, my never-ending to-do lists, my doctor's appointments, and my meetings with teachers. But it also holds the days I spent with my best friends and the memories I have made that I can never forget. I know it sounds contrary, the notes and doodles of friends right next to all the assignments I have due, but they are two sides of the same coin. They coexist in a way that it perfectly describes high school for me and the balance I want to bring to the rest of my life. But today, my list of never-ending assignments are done for now, alongside the in-class doodles of little fish, because today I have to check the last thing off my list, graduation, and move forward into the next chapter of my life. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Phoebe. My time at Long Trail has been one of the most transformative experiences of my life. I may partially feel this way because I have been going here since the 6th grade, and a lot has changed since then. But the community and opportunities that I found here have undoubtedly played a role in my growth. I have become someone who I never thought I could be. I am a public speaker, an actress, an athlete, an artist, a scientist, and a leader. I'm no longer afraid to take risks or to advocate for myself. I want to thank everyone who has supported me and lifted me up, my incredible teachers, my coaches, my mom and my dad, my little sister, and my friends. In my time at Long Trail, I have found an incredible community of people and met some of my closest and dearest friends. I have met people who inspire me, challenge me, and help me grow. Because of them, I have learned to believe in myself in ways that I never thought possible. I'm going to share a quote from A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, one of my favorite books. You won't understand what I mean now, but someday you will. The only trick of friendship, I think, is to find people who are better than you. Not smarter, not cooler, but kinder, more generous, and more forgiving. And then to appreciate them for what they can teach you. And try to listen to them when they tell you something about yourself, no matter how good or bad it might be. And to trust them, which is the hardest thing of all, but the best as well. Thank you all for teaching me.
Hey everyone, my name's Isaac. I have peaked in high school. This statement is usually met with much negativity in our society because it implies an individual's life success or popularity has peaked at the age of 17 or 18 and declined afterwards, leading to a life living in the past which makes the next 50 to 60 years feel like a decline. My goal in life is to be the best, to be my best self and improve each year. So yes, in this context, the statement, I have peaked in high school, is more positive. And here is who I'd like to thank for helping me peak in high school. Thank you to my mom and dad, of course, for being there for me every single step of the way on my schooling career. I hope someday I can repay the favor to both of you. My brother is in attendance today. I've looked up to you my entire life, figuratively and literally, as he is the only person in my family above 5'10". If not for him, I would be 6'2" and would be mega ripped, so thanks for that. To my sister, who is just starting her long trail journey, having a brother with so much street cred and aura has to be the worst thing to experience. And every time a teacher calls her name in attendance and says, Claire Jones, you wouldn't be happen to be related to the Isaac Jones. You got some big shoes to fill. All jokes aside though, Claire, you're gonna do great here and pave your own path. And if I somehow come back here, people are gonna be asking me if I'm related to the Claire Jones. I'd like to thank all my teachers who helped me in some way. I'm not naming anyone specifically because students aren't supposed to have favorites. But you all have made an impact on my life and countless other students, and they will inspire the future. Thank you to Coach Rob, Coach Chad, Kendra, and Mike for being part of my basketball journey. You have made me a better person on and off the court. Thank you to Sarah and Lori for making the greatest food in the American school system, which I know isn't a high bar, but that does not take away from her cooking. And also giving us free cookies, which taste like God's touch. I'm not religious. They taste good though. And finally, thank you to my grade as a whole. I know we got shirts that says best class ever, but honestly, the proof is in the print on the t-shirt. Thank you for helping me peak in high school.
All right, I want to start and thank a couple of people before I apply, but I'm going to be really quick. I want to thank my mom, my dad, my brother, and then I want to also thank Jody Sanderson, first of all, for being the reason that I didn't flunk out of high school, and also Jeffrey for teaching me like most of what I know about music. This is an old folk song. That was written in 1958, but it got really popular when the Grateful Dead started to do it, and that's where I kind of figured out how cool it is. So, this is Dark Hollow. You're out of tune? I'm way out of tune. Yeah, we can. Let's tune James. All right.
Now we're.
I'd rather be in some dark hollow where the sun don't ever shine than to be home alone, knowing that you're gone would cause me to lose my mind. So blow your whistle, freight train, take me far on down the track. I'm going away, I'm leaving today. I'm going, but I ain't coming back. I'd rather be in some dark hollow where the sun don't ever shine than to be in some big city in a small room with a girl on my mind. So blow your whistle, freight train, take me far down on the track. I'm going away, I'm leaving today. I'm going, but I ain't coming back. I'm going away, I'm leaving today. I'm going, but I ain't coming back. I'm going away, I'm leaving today. I'm going, but I ain't coming back.
All right, thank you, Keaton. That concludes the senior reflections. I invite the head of school, Colin Igo, co-chair of the Board of Trustees, Parker Rice, and the Dean of Academics, Mary Ellen Miga, to the stage for the awarding of diplomas.
All right, are we ready for this important part? All right, first up for our diplomas is Owen Hayes. Riley Marsan. James Paul Dorr. Jeremiah Sears. Gabe Treat. CJ Honan.
Congratulations.
Isaac Jung River Jones. Theodore Whitehorn. Helen Hamill. Eliza Diane Ulrich. Nora Grace McTeague. Dempsey Michael Masella St. Ange. Cheyenne Marie Leonard.
You're managing us very well.
Thank you. Miles Robison. Andres Copelli. Matthew Burke. Alston Haver Kent. Keaton Tarbell.
Is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go.
Elijah John Russo. Phoebe Bissell. Olivia Coolidge. Madeline Jane Robillard. Parker Sherwood. Alyssa Sargent. Brendan Coop. Sydney Mazzarello.
We're done?
Yeah, well done.
In our lives, if we are so fortunate, we encounter opportunities to join others in creating something larger than we could alone. In the arts, in athletics, in academics or friendship, we find community. Community is the protective plating that shields us from isolation and harm. It has been under that protection my peers and I have been able to grow into the people we are now and dream of who we may be tomorrow. We have shared the foxhole of community. We have endured rain and we have enjoyed sun. Today we must emerge. We begin the leg of our journeys that inevitably separate us from one another. While we may never be together under the circumstances we once knew, we will always share this time of our lives with one another. Before we proceed, I encourage everyone on the stage to look to their sides and into the audience and see the people who have come so far with you. On behalf of my class, I would like to thank every friend, teacher, loved one, every individual who has helped guide us this far. Congratulations, my friends. What an honor it has been.
It is now my tremendous honor to present the graduates of Long Trail School, the class of 2026. And I'll ask everyone to please remain standing. Following our ceremony, everyone is invited to Wayland Common Room for refreshments and to continue to celebrate these wonderful graduates. Before we conclude the ceremony, following Long Trail School tradition, we will ring the school bell. The bell will ring 26 times, once for each member of the class of 2026, commemorating and honoring their time at Long Trail School. Congratulations, class of 2026.
I get up, I get down, and I'm jumping around.